We're constantly hearing about the next big thing in tech, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. But there's a persistent question that keeps coming up for anyone looking to build a career. Is it still worth learning AWS in 2025? It's been around for a while, so you wonder if maybe the ship has sailed?
That's the exact question people should be asking. And honestly, the answer is a very clear and emphatic yes. It's not just about staying relevant, it's about positioning yourself right in the middle of where the entire industry is heading. The demand isn't just steady, it's actively growing.
Right, and that demand is the first big point. Businesses of all sizes, from tiny startups to massive corporations, are running their critical operations on AWS. We're talking data, apps, everything. This reliance has created this huge need for people who actually know how to use it. The numbers back it up too. We see really competitive salaries, with experienced pros often hitting six-figure incomes. It even opens up paths for freelance work.
Exactly. It's not just about uh, securing a 9 to 5 job, it's about having a high value skill that gives you options. You can be a consultant, help small businesses get on the cloud, or climb the corporate ladder. The aha moment for me is when you look at those salary figures, when companies are willing to pay a premium, sometimes even for roles that aren't senior level yet, it's a massive signal. It tells you there's a critical shortage of talent. AWS isn't just some nice to have tech skill anymore. It's become a fundamental pillar of modern business, like knowing how to read a balance sheet.
Absolutely. It's clear that AWS expertise is a direct pipeline to significant earning potential and career flexibility. But beyond just the job market, what exactly does AWS offer in terms of specialized career paths? Well, when people think of AWS, they might just think of basic cloud storage, like a digital warehouse, but it's really a massive ecosystem. You can specialize in incredibly high demand fields like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, or advanced data analytics, all within the AWS platform. For example, you could focus on a service like Amazon Redshift for data projects, or master AWS identity and access management to become a security specialist.
That broad applicability is key. You're not just learning a tool for one specific job. It's more like learning a language that's spoken in almost every industry: tech, government, healthcare, education, you name it. That kind of adaptability is rare, and it's what really future proofs your career against technological shifts. You're not just ready for today's job, but for the jobs that will exist 5 years from now.
Exactly, it's about building a resilient and adaptable career. So, with all these advanced services and potential specializations, is it difficult to get started with AWS? I imagine it can feel pretty intimidating from the outside.
That's a fair concern, but AWS has actually made a name for itself by being surprisingly approachable no matter your experience level. For total beginners, there's a certification called the AWS-certified cloud practitioner, which is basically the front door. From there, you can go into all sorts of advanced specializations.
I've heard they also give you tools to practice without breaking the bank.
They do, and that's a game changer. The free tier accounts are a huge deal. They let you experiment with real world applications without any financial risk. It's one thing to read about a service, but it's another thing entirely to build something with it. On top of that, the global community around AWS is massive and incredibly active. There are forums, meetups, and online groups where you can get help almost instantly. It makes the whole thing feel less like a lonely struggle and more like a collaborative project.
It certainly does. It's clear AWS is built for continuous learning and support. But looking ahead, how does AWS align with the major technological trends that will define the future? Well, AWS is consistently at the forefront of what's next. Think about the big buzzwords for 2025: artificial intelligence, sustainability, serverless architecture. AWS is already a leader in all of them. They have tools like AWS Lambda for serverless apps and are even paving the way for quantum computing with Amazon Bracket.
And the sustainability piece is becoming more and more important.
For sure. There's a huge push toward green technology, and AWS is working on carbon neutral operations. So when you're learning these skills, you're not just mastering tech, you're aligning yourself with the future goals of major companies. Plus, with tools for hybrid cloud setups, you're positioned to help organizations navigate these really complex modern strategies.
So, learning AWS isn't just about mastering current technology, it's about putting yourself at the vanguard of where the entire industry is heading. You're preparing for a future where sustainability and advanced computing are not just afterthoughts, but core business requirements.
Precisely. It's about building a career that's not just relevant today, but actively shaping tomorrow. This leads us to the final point. Considering all these factors, from demand to future trends, what's the ultimate takeaway for anyone considering learning AWS in 2025?
I think it boils down to a few key points. First, the demand is real and translates into high compensation. Second, it offers incredibly diverse career paths that are applicable in almost any industry. Third, it's very accessible to learn thanks to things like free practice accounts and a strong community. And finally, you're learning skills that are genuinely future ready, aligned with major trends like AI and sustainability. The certifications are recognized globally, so it's a powerful way to validate your expertise. It's a solid investment in your future, no matter how you look at it.